Welcome to the All About Pigeons podcast, brought to you by the All About Pigeons nonprofit organization, which is dedicated to promoting education and promotion of the pigeon hobby. Every week, a listener requests to drive our conversations about all things pigeons. Join me, Philip Fry, as we learn and share stories about these incredible birds and this ancient hobby. Hey, what's up, pigeon people? I just wanted to come on here real quick and talk a little bit about the Pigeonpalooza event that we recently had. I gotta say that for our first one, I consider it a huge success. It was a lot of fun. People were having a good time. And you know what? We couldn't have done it without just so much support from the community, from different pigeon clubs in the area too. So let me just hit up some thank yous real quick here. We got some sponsors here. Crandall Pest Control, local sponsor here. Thank you, Crandall. Arizona Diamondback sponsored us. Hector's Hay and Feed, thank you. King Pigeon, it's a real cool vintage thrift store, all about pigeons kind of stuff going on down there. Thanks for their support. Velocity First Roller Club, that's the Roller Club of Arizona right there. Ricky Gonzalez, the president. A bunch of other members came up, held on the table for us, and we really appreciate those guys showing up. Small Batch Merchants was out there offering all kinds of different natural remedies and essential oils that you could put on for feather conditions, keep your lofts clean, all kinds of good stuff. Thanks to the Arizona Pigeon Club for letting us use all those cages that all the birds were in. Couldn't have had much of a show without all them cages. I only had a few. You guys stepped up and helped out a lot. Our Lady of the Snow Catholic Church gave us a smoking deal on renting out that hall, recognizing that we are a nonprofit public charity, and so they made it real easy for us to get in there and host an event at a great venue. Tractor Supply, they donated us a couple of bags of feed for the winnings in our prize table, so thank you to them. Local Arizona Pigeon Club member Sam Brewer made one of her very cool, one-of-a-kind sock pigeons. Did not disappoint. That was also on the prize table, so thank you to Sam for that. Mike Swafford ran all over the earth picking up pigeons and running pigeons up to the show. Thank you, Mike. We had a lot of great pigeons in the auctions that were donated, so thanks to everybody who was donating them. Joel Stewart, Mike Overbay, Joe Cook, Russell Mink, Ricky Gonzalez. He donated a pair of really good high-quality Birmingham rollers. I think one of the birds that was donated into the auction actually got third place in the show overall, so clearly really good birds in that auction. Just thank you to everybody who donated their time, their birds, support in any way. Truly appreciate it. It made for a great event for everyone. Everybody enjoyed it. So let me just give you kind of a walkthrough of how the day went. So before the event actually started at 10 o'clock, the local news, Good Morning Arizona, came out and did a Zoom interview with Gurkha, the fortune-telling pigeon. So I sat there, I kind of explained to them a little bit about what Pigeonpalooza was all about, what we were going to be doing out there today, and I had Gurkha, the fortune-telling pigeon, draw a couple of fortunes for the people on the news. You can check out that footage on our website, pigeonpod.com. He did pretty good. He performed well under pressure, and while I didn't pull the can back out, so you can see in the video there that while I pulled the one fortune out, he just kept sitting there and just dropping fortunes in. That's how he's trained, is to drop one, and then I usually pull the can and he gets fed. But so he did really good, and honestly, he was a big hit. There was just a line of people out there during the event. Just everybody was wanting to get their fortune read by a pigeon, so that was actually really cool to see. We had a lot of pigeon-themed games. We had probably the most popular one was Pin the Tail on the Pigeon. That was another one that just had a line. Everybody, kids and adults, everybody wanted to get in on that game. That was a lot of fun. We had another game that was kind of like Klinko, where you're dropping pigeon eggs down perches and it lands in a nest bowl. And, so these were all, we kept everything real pigeon themed. The whole event, of course, it's Pigeonpalooza, so we're celebrating all things pigeons. The coloring contest was very popular for people of all ages. Just had all sorts of material out there for them to work on and then submit their stuff in. We did the award ceremony for that. That was really cool. Another really popular thing was the pigeon petting area. So we had set up a little dog fence area, put a tarp down, put some bedding in it, and I had brought in some of my parlor rollers, and I let people, I think we did 2 chairs at a time, and there were kids that would stay in there for literally hours at a time just petting pigeons. It was really wild to see. They just really got into it, and that was really cool to see, because that's what you want. You want people to have that experience that's kind of hard to explain, but it's easier to just go in there and hold a pigeon and see for yourself. That calming effect they have, and just how cool it is to be able to hold this pigeon and interact with it in this way. So that was really popular. Everybody kept wanting to get in there and hang out with the pigeons. We did have a lot of different breeds that were being shown there that day. We limited it to 5 birds per exhibitor, and that's still, I ran out of cage space pretty quick. So next year we're definitely going to be doing a lot of things differently. One of those things would be more cages for the showing aspect to be larger so we can show more birds. There were a lot of high quality breeds of birds that got brought in and showed, and we had ribbons and prizes for first, second, and third place. However, I gotta say, the most popular event of the day was the cooing contest. Once we made the announcement that the cooing contest was going to be taking place, all of a sudden we had so many more entries come in. People were running up there, okay, now I'm going to do it, now I'm going to do it. And one of the things we're going to do differently next year is that we are going to split it up between kids and adults, because there was a lot of people. So there was some, real little kids and older adults. So I think next year we're going to split it up between kids and adults. But that was wild. It was so cool. And there are some really, really talented people. I mean, really coming out with some super realistic pigeon sounds. It was really cool. So the auditorium really filled up. I mean, all the seats were full. Everybody was up there for that. We had the contestants come up on stage. We had 3 hidden judges in the audience, and I called out each contestant by number that we gave them, and one at a time they gave their best pigeon coo that they had, and there wasn't necessarily a standard coo to it, so everybody kind of just let loose with their own pigeon coo, which was really cool also, and that was fun. And we had a trophy for first place, and then prize table for first, second, and third place, that anytime anybody got a prize, they would go over to the prize table and pick an item off of there, and there was a lot of good stuff on that prize table. We also had a raffle that was going off every hour on the hour at different tables, so you could see, this table is going to be the 11 o'clock raffle, this one's the 12 o'clock, and so on. Big silent auction area, and I'll tell you this, people got some smoking deals and some of that stuff on the silent auction. And that's great, because it was all donated anyway. So whatever you got for, if you got a $200 item for $50, hey, that's a win-win for everybody. Another really cool thing I noticed was that a lot of the people that were coming in had a lot of pigeon art with them, right? So one lady actually came in with pigeon canvases and said that she does pigeon art. So we immediately set her up with a table so she could display and sell some of her pigeon art. Other people that were just coming as participants and attendees of the event had made their own felt pigeon sculptures or crocheted pigeon bags and just all this really cool folk art kind of pigeon stuff. So that was completely out of left field for me and really cool to see. And there were a lot of people who just had no idea about pigeons and that there's this whole culture here. So bringing those people in and being able to expose them to this, I mean, that was kind of what it's all about too. We really want to change the mindset of these birds, and they're so misunderstood. They don't really have lobbyists out there on their behalf. That's kind of what our job is to do as pigeon fanciers in some ways. We had the pigeon documentaries playing on TVs throughout the day with tables set up in front, which made nice, comfortable little areas to just hang back and chill, talk to people. Food trucks were out front, so you can grab a bite to eat, bring it in, hang out. We had cornhole games going outside. It was definitely an all-day event with things happening one right after the other, and it went by so fast. Already making plans for next year's Pigeonpalooza. We're sitting down, kind of taking some notes from this year's. We threw a lot of stuff out there. We wanted to see what floated and what people really enjoyed. There's a lot of good stuff that we take away from this one, and we want to build on it for next year too. So, first weekend of October is when we're going to be doing this every year. So make sure you're leaving that weekend open to travel out to Snowflake, Arizona. There's a Best Western just right down the street from where this hall and the event's going to be at. So make your plans now so you don't miss out on it. And again, thanks to everybody who played a role in making this whole thing happen. It wouldn't have happened without everybody who got behind it, and it wouldn't have happened without everybody who drove and traveled and showed up. So thanks to everybody for everything that you've done to help support this great event. We'll have a page dedicated to the Pigeonpalooza at our website, pigeonpod.com. So even for the one coming up in 2026, we'll be posting our information and everything else on there. So stay tuned with that. Of course, our Facebook group and everything else, we'll try to get the information out there as best we can to everybody. So just stay tuned, and hopefully I'll see you at the next Pigeonpalooza, October of 2026. Thank you for listening to another ad-free, listener-requested episode of the All About Pigeons podcast. If you like the show and want to help it keep it going, as well as supporting your other pigeon promotional work, head to the website PigeonPod, that's pigeonpod.com. You can make a donation there. If you can't make a donation today, support the show by giving us a good 5-star review wherever you're listening to us at right now. That really helps the podcast and helps the algorithm get us out there to other people who might not know about Pigeon Podcast. If you have any episode requests, upcoming pigeon shows, competition results, or you want to be a guest on the show and just talk about some pigeons, or you have a shout out for a friend, shoot us an email at staff@pigeonpod.com. Thanks again for listening. We really appreciate your support. And remember, together the hobby thrives. Support each other and enjoy your pigeons.